Speaker. It's an honor to be able to acknowledge OPAC Scholarship winner today. This scholarship is awarded by OPAC in recognition of the service that the student pays not only to their school and to their fellow students, but to the profession at all. This scholarship is named in honor of Dr. James Lawley, individual who for more than 3 decades has provided consistent service, support, leadership for our profession. So, and we do that in his recognition. The scholarship is voted upon from candidates that are submitted by the OPAC board and selected. And I can tell you that each year it becomes harder and harder and harder in order to do that. If we can roll that forward, it'll help a little bit. Okay. The recipient of this year's scholarship recognizes an individual who has demonstrated all of these activities with a commitment to political activity and advocacy. This year's winner is a 3rd-year osteopathic medical student at the West Virginia School of Medicine. Jordan, come join me. There's student Dr. Pudash. Welcome. Right. Over here just a minute. Okay, right there. There we go. Here. At West Virginia is a 3rd-year medical. It's a 3rd-year medical student, folks, not all the way out there. She's had a consistent goal of practicing medicine in rural and underserved areas. During her time in the medical school, she was involved in so many advocacy and political campaigns as an ambassador for the AOA Advocacy Network that I couldn't begin to name them all, so I won't. She's active in SOMA and the Political Honor Society, Omega Beta Iota, and with that lead-in, I'm going to ask her to say a few words. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming student Dr. Pudash.
The video.
Hi, my name is Jordan Pollock and I'm a 3rd-year medical student at the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. I'm deeply grateful to OPAC for this recognition and for the opportunity to share my journey with you. Today, I want to express how my past advocacy efforts have contributed to OPAC's mission and to the advancement of the osteopathic profession. My journey in advocacy began as a pre-medical student. I stumbled upon the principles of osteopathy and instantly knew that this was the profession for me. Determined to support and represent pre-medical students interested in osteopathic medicine, I founded the first pre-SOMA chapter at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I owe a great debt of gratitude to Dr. Leslie Painovich, who took on the role of becoming our chapter's advisor, and for introducing me to the Wisconsin Association of Osteopathic Physicians and Surgeons, otherwise known as WAOPS. Each of the WAOPS physicians has shown me unwavering support from our introduction on. I had the privilege of attending many events alongside these passionate and dedicated physicians as a pre-medical student. It was during these experiences that I witnessed the transformative power of patient advocacy in our field. One example in particular was attending the 2018 AOSED meeting and stepping foot into the AOA headquarters for the first time. While I was initially nervous that I wasn't qualified enough to be there, this feeling quickly dissipated upon seeing the camaraderie and open-minded discussions among physicians about the policies to be addressed at the upcoming House. This left a lasting impression on me and fueled the determination to someday become an AOA physician involved in policy work myself. Motivated by this newfound drive, I dove deeper into advocacy. I attended various events such as pre-SOMA at OMED and a number of WAOPS conferences in order to improve my knowledge base. I continued working with WAOPS as the Executive Director Assistant. Additionally, I engaged in grassroots activities such as collaborating with Dr. Markman to support his epinephrine initiatives by reaching out to local legislators. My advocacy work continued once I matriculated into medical school. Serving as SOMA chapter president at WVSOM, I felt a deep sense of responsibility to educate my fellow students about ongoing advocacy efforts and ways to become actively involved, such as through resolution writing. Participating in DO Day on the Hill and SOMA Spring Convention my first 2 years further reinforced my belief in the power of collective advocacy. Together, we amplified our impact by sharing our diverse experiences and emphasizing the importance of key issues. This has achieved significant outcomes. The reauthorization of the THC GME program stands as a testament to the impact of our advocacy. We have all been instrumental in promoting our profession, advocating for our patients, and making a positive impact on our communities. As members of OPAC and the AOA, our mission is to strengthen the position of osteopathy across the country. I firmly believe that my strength and motivation to continue advocacy work comes from our incredible community itself. I derive the strength to accomplish my dreams, including serving as a Wisconsin state delegate today, from the never-ending support and belief instilled in me by the AOA House physicians. My motivation stems from witnessing Dr. Markman's journey of transforming a patient tragedy into past legislation, and from finding others, namely the newly elected National SOMA team, that share the same passion and fire for being an advocate that I do. Together, this osteopathic community has built bridges, shaped legislation, and created a stronger, more unified voice for our field. It is my goal to continue my contributions to this community and to lead pre-SOMA over the next 2 years by example, showing them that our field prides itself on patient advocacy and truly embodies what it means to be a community. Thank you all for your attention and for the opportunity to share a portion of my advocacy journey with you today.
Hear, hear.
Dr. Vide just spoke to you about the future of our profession and that it's bright and that we're not going anywhere. You need to read some of the applications that we get and see the involvement and the commitment and the talent of people that we have coming into our profession. We often say that our students are our future. That's absolutely wrong. They're here today. They're the reality of our profession today, and they continue to lead us into our future. Jordan, thank you very much for your contributions and for your service. I would be negligent not to close with this, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank James Lally for decades of support to this profession, both financially, professionally. He dedicates his time and his talent, and we're extremely appreciative of him doing that. Mr. Speaker, I yield the stage back to you. Okay, Ultravis, we'll do this one more time. This morning we talked about that we had 4 new people, and we got a little bit off time. I'm sure it was my fault, not the speaker's fault, but somehow or another we were 40 minutes earlier than I thought we were going to be. So I'd like to call Chris Nikoloff up to the stage and present him with his Oliva pin. You know, he marks number 40 in the Oliva circle, 40. That means that's a minimum of $1 million a contribution. I can tell you, looking at the 40 people that have been involved, it's far more than that. It's money that has gone to support this profession over the last many years along with it. So Chris, as a JD, represents something else that's extremely important. The profession is not just for us. The profession is for the public and the patients we serve. He serves in a tremendous role in support of Michigan and a tremendous role in support of what we do for our public, and we're very appreciative of it.
Don't leave yet, Chris. Don't leave yet. I'm going to take the prerogative as the chair to go off record for just a minute and give Dr. Nikoloff a chance that we missed this morning for you to say some things regarding OPAC. Sir.
Well, Dr. Martin, thank you. You've been a dear friend to me over the years, and I've learned a lot from you, learned a lot from all of you, and Dr. Gelb, President Gelb, thank you, President-elect Monka, and Speaker Morrison. You know, I was asked to say a few words about PACs and what they mean, and many of you that I know out there, you know I kind of shoot from the hip. I have some thoughts that crossed my mind, but I was 19 years old, and the first African-American principal in Lansing, Michigan, Calvin Anderson, another Dr. Anderson, I met at the local putting green on my lunch hours. And he said, "What are your plans?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'd like to get the old neighborhood cleaned up a little bit. We grew up by the factory in downtown Lansing, and there were some inner city issues that were hampering us." And he said, "How do you plan to do that?" I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, I'm coming by your house tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and you have a tie on and have $10. And I said, "I don't have $10. He said, "Well, find it. And I know you've got a tie." I said, "Well, my dad does." So my dad tied the tie and put it on me, and Dr. Anderson picked me up. And we went to the Lansing Arts Council and met a man named Charlie Kramer. And Charlie Kramer was the 4th Ward councilman. This is over 40 years ago. And Calvin, Dr. Anderson said, "Charlie, councilman, meet your new intern." That was my first fundraiser. Just last week, I attended my 3,041st fundraiser. Now you say, and you say, how did that happen? Well, I spent 22 years in dentistry and was a senior vice president of government affairs, and sometimes you'd have 2 or 3 morning fundraisers, 2 or 3 afternoon fundraisers, and a few in the evenings. So it adds up quickly, especially when you have a PAC. That wasn't money out of my pocket, that was contributions by the dentists. When it came to the MOA, we had a PAC, Michigan Osteopathic Association, and OPAC. And I cannot begin to tell you the impact it has when you participate at any level. Knock on doors, write letters, whatever it takes. That's your voice. And the other Dr. Anderson that you heard speak yesterday, if he caught your attention, like I'm pretty sure he did because I stood in the back of the room and everyone was standing the whole time, if he caught your attention, will you just make one more contribution today? No matter how small or large it might be. If that Dr. Anderson had the impact on you yesterday that the Dr. Anderson from 40 years ago had on me, that's my ask of you today. Because that PAC, OPAC, and that staff and that board, chaired by our own Dr. Ronnie Martin, are messaging for you each and every day. And they're the ones that get the legislators to the table to do the things that Dr. Anderson talked about yesterday and how far we've come. That's all I have to say today. I believe in this PAC. I believe in this profession. I know more and more and more legislators do, but they need to hear from you. And PACs give us access as a whole. Do things individually, but do things as a whole. Look what you're doing today. This is unbelievable. You're amazing, giving people. Please give, because that's the only way things get done. You've got to be at the table. So I'm a staff person. I can only do so much. I can lobby, but I can't tell the stories you can tell. And if you're at that table, you can do that. We need you. God bless and thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that, sir. We're back on the record. Once again, please welcome to the podium the president of the AOA, Dr. Ernie Gelb, for a few special presentations. Dan, I just won't go away, will I? This is where the fun begins. Thank you, Speaker Morrison.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate this. First award for the day is the Bob E. Jones CAE Award. The AOA established the annual Bob E. Jones CAE Award in 2001 to recognize outstanding state and specialty executive directors who continually contribute to the AOA and to the osteopathic profession as a whole. This award is named in honor of Bob E. Jones, CAE, who served as executive director of the Oklahoma Osteopathic Association from 1969 through 1999. His 30-year leadership of the association resulted in numerous advances for the profession. He assumed a major role in coordinating legislative action, leading to the establishment of the nation's first freestanding, state-supported College of Osteopathic Medicine. I'm pleased to present this year's Bob E. Jones CAE Award to Chris Nikoloff, CEO of the Michigan Osteopathic Association. Now, as you're clapping, Chris and I met in the gym. Believe it or not, Ernie in a gym, go figure. Right? So in any event, throughout his 4-decade career, Mr. Nikoloff has built relationships with Michigan stakeholders in healthcare and instituted strategic partnerships with hospital systems, professional healthcare organizations, members of healthcare insurance companies, and lawmakers. I think he got a get-out-of-jail-free card somewhere along the line there. His strategic partnerships program has been so successful that several other state organizations have modeled their own efforts after those pioneered by Chris. He has demonstrated dedication, flexibility, innovation, and integrity throughout his career, and he continues to be a strong force in support of the osteopathic profession in Michigan as well as across the nation. Let's take a moment to hear a few words from Chris.
Hello. First and foremost, I'd like to say how much I love the osteopathic profession. I'm truly humbled to receive the Bob E. Jones CAE Award. My colleagues across the country are second to none. I've learned so much from each and every one of you. You're all qualified to receive this award. I'd like to thank the American Osteopathic Association and Michigan Osteopathic Association leadership and staff. Working with you is truly a blessing. Thank you.
Chris? Take 2 steps back. At this time, I'd like to introduce this year's winner of this Distinguished Service Award, which is the AOA's highest honor. This award recognizes members or supporters of the profession for outstanding accomplishments in advancing the science and art of osteopathic medicine, education, and other fields of public service as well. Please join me in congratulating William J. Burke, D.O., my friend, who serves as Dean and Associate Professor at the Ohio University Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine in Dublin. He is also a founding dean of OUHCOM's Central Ohio campus. After the founding director of the International Primary Care Education Alliance, Dr. Burke leads efforts to train Chinese physicians in osteopathic primary care. He has been traveling to China since 2007 to provide formal education, medical assistance, presentations, and evaluations regarding primary care. For 9 years, Dr. Burke served on the AOA's Board of Trustees and chaired the Departments of Educational Affairs, Government Affairs, and Research and Development, as well as the Bureau of Communications. He also served on the Committee on AOA Governance and Organizational Structure and is currently a member of the AOA's Bureau of International Osteopathic Medicine. Please join me in hearing a few words from Dr. Burke.
I am humbled to receive the American Osteopathic Association's Distinguished Service Award and would like to thank the Awards Committee and the AOA Board of Trustees for this meaningful recognition. I would also like to thank my wife, Debbie, for her steadfast support. As an osteopathic family physician and medical educator, I've been blessed to have utilized my osteopathic skills to treat patients and to train the next generation of osteopathic physicians. I am grateful to the many mentors who placed me on AOA bureaus and committees, and to my fellow Ohioans who nominated me to serve on the AOA Board of Trustees. These leadership experiences led to additional opportunities to serve the osteopathic profession in this country and across the globe. I am eternally grateful.
For the first time in recent memory, Dr. Burke has nothing to say. Wow. Our second Distinguished Service Award honoree is Karen T. Snyder, DO, who serves as Assistant Dean for Osteopathic Principles and Practice, Integration, as well as Professor in the Department of Family Medicine, Preventative Medicine, and Community Health at the A.T. Still University Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. In addition, she is a scientist at the A.T. Still Research Institute Center for Clinical Outcomes Studies. A devoted supporter of the osteopathic profession, Dr. Snyder is very involved in several organizations, including the AOA, where she serves as a board member for the American Osteopathic Board of Neuromusculoskeletal Medicine and regularly contributes to the Journal of Osteopathic Medicine. She has also worked with the American Academy of Osteopathy, the American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine, and the National Board of Osteopathic Medical Examiners. Let's take a moment to hear just a few words from Dr. Snyder.
Hello, I'm Karen Snyder, and I would like to thank the AOA for acknowledging my service to the osteopathic profession, teaching, assessing, and advancing osteopathic principles. This service has only been possible through the support and training I've received throughout my career. Specifically, I would like to thank Dr. Barbara Zeidel, who nominated me for this award. I serve with Dr. Zeidel on the AOB NMM, working to ensure that board certification process remains up-to-date, reliable, and defensible. Dr. John Gimple and the MBOME for training me to produce high-quality, uniquely osteopathic examinations to serve and protect the public. Doctors Margaret Wilson and Patricia Sexton, my deans, who supported me in producing a standardized curriculum to train third, fourth year students to integrate osteopathic principles into patient care, and is now in use at 16 colleges of osteopathic medicine. Dr. Rich LeBaire for working with me to create the National Center for OPP Education, where we promote and support osteopathic principles throughout the continuum of osteopathic medical education. My OMM colleagues and my talented husband, Dr. Eric Snyder, and my wonderful children whose support allowed me to serve in different capacities with ACOM, ECOP, AOA, AAO, and ACGME. And my patients who daily motivate me to ensure osteopathic principles remain integrated throughout the training of osteopathic physicians. And lastly, AOA, who helps fight the external threats that discourage physicians from integrating osteopathic principles into competent patient care. There is still much to be done. Thank you for all you do for the profession.
Dr. Snyder, thank you. Dr. Snyder could not join us in person today, so I will accept this award on her behalf someday. I am now honored to present our lineup of 2023 presidential citations. These four individuals are being honored with citations today, have made tremendous contributions toward championing the success of our proud profession. The first individual I would like to recognize is Karen P. Knapp, DO. Dr. Knapp, would you please join me up here?
Respect.
Dr. Knapp has dedicated more than 4 decades to the practice of osteopathic medicine, providing whole-person care for the body, mind, and spirit of his patients in underserved regions of rural Pennsylvania. In 1996, Dr. Knapp was installed as the 87th president of the Pennsylvania Osteopathic Medical Association and continues to serve as a POMA Foundation officer. He's a distinguished fellow of the ACOFP and served as the organization's president 2002 and 2003. He continues to be involved with the AOA's Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation and has supported the profession through leadership roles with other osteopathic organizations, including the POFPS and the York County Osteopathic Medical Society. Thank you, Dr. Knapp, for all you do for the profession. There is a citation over there. It's too far away, I can't read it, but it's going to go on his home. Each one of these folks is kind of special to me, as we'll find out. Our next presidential citation honoree is James D. Polk, D.O. Dr. Polk is not able to be here today, so I will accept the citation on his behalf. During J.D.'s 30-year career as an osteopathic physician, he has ascended to the highest ranks of aerospace medicine to become the Chief Health and Medical Officer at NASA, where he oversees care for the nation's astronaut corps and support teams. Dr. Polk's career began in 1993 after graduating from the A.T. Still University Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine, followed by his postdoc training in emergency medicine as well as aerospace medicine. He is triple board certified in emergency medicine, aerospace medicine, as well as preventative, and is a fellow of the ACOEP, the emergency guys, and the American Osteopathic Board of Preventative Medicine. He has received numerous honors for his contributions to the field of space medicine, including the NASA Outstanding Leadership Medal. Please join me in acknowledging Dr. Polk's many achievements. Thank you. Our next citation goes to someone who's near and dear to my heart. Dr. Sutter, would you kindly join me on stage? As an osteopathic cardiac surgeon, Dr. Sutter has dedicated his career to advancing surgical treatment of coronary artery disease. He has spent the last 18 years working to pioneer and advance minimally invasive coronary artery bypass graft surgery, which helps reduce postoperative pain and risk of stroke. Since 2005, Dr. Sutter has performed more than 2,300 robotic coronary bypass procedures, more than any other surgeon or medical institution in these United States. Yeah, how about that? How about that? Fabulous. He has served as Chief of Cardiac Surgery at Lankenau Medical Center in Wynwood, Pennsylvania since 2001, and is a clinical professor of surgery at the Jefferson Medical College, where he educates the next generation of physicians using his innovative approach and groundbreaking techniques. Thank you, Dr. Sutter. We appreciate all you do, and I certainly appreciate all that you do. Our final presidential citation this year is presented to John B. Riley. Mr. Riley, would you kindly join me up here? John has served as the AOA's official presidential photographer for the past 3 decades, helping to commemorate the lasting legacy of the AOA's leaders. This year marks the 31st official portrait of an AOA president that will be captured through his lens, and I'm told he never has a negative attitude. John established his photography studio in Chicago's West Loop in 1992, and later expanded his business to an additional studio in Lake Forest, Illinois. In addition to his work as the AOA's presidential photographer, he has photographed notable leaders, celebrities, and politicians from Chicago. He has earned several academic degrees, and his work spans everything from individual portraits to fine art, as well as book covers and cultural events. Thank you, John, for your contributions to the AOA. We are done, are we not? I got it all? All right, so for this time, I'm really leaving. So this is my last shot at my presidency, and I just want to thank you, all of you, for all that you have done for me, but more importantly, for what you've done for our profession. Last year, I stood here and asked everybody to honor the profession, and all I've seen in the last year, including right now, this profession is being honored beyond my expectations. So for that, thank you so very much.